from Kyocera Stadium in The Hague, Netherlands. The United States women's national team with their last game in Europe before the start of the National Women's Soccer League. Roberto Bramos, Cat Whitehill with you. Thank you so much for being with us today. This is the last game for the U.S. after a thrilling 3-3 tie with Germany last Friday. And the U.S. has a history with the Netherlands, who really haven't taken this too seriously until recently. The U.S. wound up losing the first game by a score of 4-3. After that, they have totally dominated.
But this is a new Netherlands team. They made it to the Euros in 2009 for the first time, and they advanced all the way to the semifinals. They now have a new head coach that wants more of an attacking style. You'll see them kind of start in a 4-5-1, then go to a 4-3-3, so it's going to be a great battle between these two teams.
And as far as the United States, if you saw the Germany game and you're going to look at this game, you're going to say, wow, there's a lot of changes. Only one starting player from the Germany game will be in the starting lineup today.
Yeah, and that's Heather O'Reilly, so she definitely brings in some experience. But one of the things that I love is 524 total starting caps of all 11 players versus Christy Rimpone and Abby Wambach's 484. So you can see there's a ton of youth, a ton of people trying to learn, get to know different positions, and everything that Tom Sermanni is bringing to the table. It's an exciting time for U.S. soccer, and we should expect this probably the next 2 years.
Well, for the U.S., they obviously have to look to see who is coming up and who can substitute for some of the older players that the team has. And as they go forward, we will see who some of these new stars are. You always have to look for new blood, and what a better time to do it than in an exhibition game. We will be back with the lineups and the kickoff right after this. U.S., the Netherlands, now. Back at Kyocera Stadium, the U.S. and the Netherlands lined up as the anthems are about to start. The stadium holds about 15,000 fans, and the advance sale on this game was over 6,000. So we're hoping for a good crowd. And now the national anthems. And we're almost set to kick off. Meanwhile, for the U.S., a couple of notable players that are out and injured. 3 total, but Hope Solo, Carly Lloyd, normally mainstays in the lineup. They're not part of the team for now as they're recovering from injuries.
Yeah, and I just read a tweet from Carly Lloyd saying she was going to the doctor today to get her 4-week review. So hopefully during the game we'll get some more information about that to see that she's doing a nice job recovering.
And as far as the U.S. lineup is concerned, we spoke about the only one player who is back from the 3-3 tie with Germany, and that is Heather O'Reilly. What are we going to see from this lineup today?
Well, it's a lot of exciting players and a lot of exciting young players. And the 2 that I really want to look for and see how well they do combining together is Kristen Press and Sydney LaRue up top. They're both very, very fast forwards that can really get over the top, which will be dangerous for this a little bit slower Netherlands backline. But they're also very good with the feet. So to mix it up is going to be key for the United States in getting in behind, but also working and playing combination play.
As far as the Dutch are concerned, this was a team that used to play very defensively, but now they said, we can't play this way. This is not a Dutch style. We've got to play attacking, and they have really put some money into this team and into soccer in general, and this is the starting lineup that they have.
Yeah, they received a lot of criticism for the way they played in the Euros back in the day, but Mana Millis is the one to keep an eye out for, number 11. She is a speedy, crafty player that if she can get in behind the United States defense, she's a natural goal scorer. So watch out for her. They're just going to need to get her the ball, because I have a feeling that they're going to back a little bit defensively to deal with players like Sydney LaRue, Krista Perez, Heather O'Reilly, and Tobin Heath.
There are the officials, and we are ready for the game. The Dutch with the orange uniforms and the slightly darker orange numbers. Great. The U.S. with their blue uniforms, the same ones that they wore against Germany. Thank you so much for being with us. Roberto Bramwell's Cat Whitehill. As a matter of fact, the last time that these 2 teams met, the U.S. won 2-0. And my partner here to my right scored the second goal. How was that goal?
If I remember properly, I'm one of those defenders that likes to kind of creep up and make people not really see you, and then the midfielders play me the ball, and I just cracked it on goal, and it worked.
There you go. The U.S. with a very young Ashlyn Harris is a woman who went to your college, North Carolina, has had all sorts of injury problems, but seems to never get down and fights back harder to get back up.
She really does, and it's a testament to her that she's finally starting to get some caps under her belt. This is her second cap, and she's getting the starting nod. A lot of confidence going in with her. She's playing so well right now. Unfortunately, she has remained injury-free because that's been the biggest problem for her career.
And for the Dutch women, they're getting ready for the European Championships in Sweden. They're going to be in a group that also has Germany in it. And we're off. And Germany, sorry, Holland trying to work it out of the back line. And it'll be a throw-in for them. There is Tanser Mane. He's done such a good job so far since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I really like what he's doing, and the key for him, and he talked about this when he came in, I want to be able to gel the youth with the experience, and he's doing such a fantastic job of that, and he's not afraid of losing right now, because he's not looking at this game, he's looking at the future for the World Cup and the Olympics, and he's trying to develop each individual players. Like in the Germany game, he played 3 players that didn't have over 10 caps, and he was confident in that, and they learned from their mistakes, and they learned playing in a hostile environment, and he's doing a very similar thing today with a bunch of young players. Giving them this experience is just something that you want to do during these months before the World Cup.
The U.S. coming out of the back near midfield. This is Kelly O'Hara going long, chasing after the ball but not getting to it. It'll be a throw-in for the Dutch, and that was Christen Press. 4 goals in 6 games so far for the U.S. national team. Throw in for the Dutch. And a foul by the U.S. The foul was on Lieke Martens, who was fouled there. Going short for Diane Beto. Beto back to Daphne Koster, who's the captain today. And this is Loes Gertz. The U.S. overwhelming in midfield right now. Spreading it wide. O'Reilly gets across, and it's blocked, and it will be a corner kick for the U.S., the first one today. Going short for O'Reilly. Turns in the box, crosses it. Julie Johnston tried to get a shot on goal, couldn't do it. And the Dutch counterattacking on the right side. This is Beto. Going long. No problem for the U.S. defense in the middle. Beto again. Bad pass. U.S. to counter now. This is Press. Her shot was blocked. And Gertz. And the U.S. has had basically all of the possession here in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, they have, but they haven't really developed the attack quite yet. They're playing kind of one and done with the passes and the through balls, and that's what you do in the first 10 minutes. But right when Christen Press had the ball back there, that would have been a good time to maybe put your foot on the ball, let it develop. But for a young player, she wants to make her mark on the game early. She's done such a fantastic job at scoring goals and assisting on goals in the first few games that she's played in, and she wants to keep that going. But right now, she should have just calmed the game down a little bit, find Heather O'Reilly on the outside and build from there. But it is the first 5 minutes, and you have a lot of adrenaline, so it's understandable.
Sydney Leroux with Helligenberg in front of her. There's a shot, and it is a goal kick for the Netherlands. Well, this is Kyocera Stadium. ADO Den Haag plays here. Built in 2007. They expecting a crowd of a little bit under 10,000 for this game, which is very good for Dutch soccer, which is women's soccer, which has been growing.
Yeah, it's exciting for the world to have more teams develop like this. And you know that the Netherlands have an incredible men's program and the history of that. And now that they're developing the women, that just makes it even harder for teams that normally are on top to stay on top. And that's what you want in women's soccer. You want that parity. And you love that the Netherlands is putting forth the effort to create a strong women's side and create a strong women's league in their country.
O'Reilly loses the ball by the foul. Kristen van de Ven took the ball away. We have somebody who's injured on the field, and that's Anouk Dekker, who plays for FC Twente. Roger Rayner's taking a look there to see if he has to make a change or not, and let's see what happened. Ow.
Yeah, just got
Ankle.
crunched right on there. That never feels good.
Former U.S. international Kat Whitehill, Roberto Abramowitz with you. Thank you so much for being with us here on this exclusive presentation of Watch ESPN, ESPN3, and ESPNW. And a few of the U.S. fans trying to support the team. And on the drop ball, the U.S. gives it right back to the Dutch. And then they go on the attack to press them. Dekker comes back onto the field. The game seems to be tilted all on one side of the field so far. The Dutch wanted to come out attacking. Hasn't been the case. The U.S. has just not given him a chance. Tobin Heath, who came in as a late substitute against Germany, winds up losing the ball. This is Koster. Leffer Vanden Hellingberger. The U.S. again pressing and winning the ball. Now the Dutch would like to get across midfield, going long, but intercepted nicely for the U.S. by O'Hara.
And you can see that the Dutch is really only playing one up top. They like to say that they're in a 4-3-3 or even a 4-2-3-1, but right now with the United States controlling most of the possession, their two forwards that would normally get up with Milas up front are having to drop back a little bit. So there's really no pressure on the United States defense quite yet. They need to build with a little bit more pace and speed of play, but then find their Milas up front and get those players underneath, and that will put much more pressure on the back line of the United States.
How long can the U.S. continue with this high pressure?
Well, right now, both Sydney Leroux and Kristen Press are accustomed to putting on the high pressure, so I could see it lasting for a very long time, especially in the first 20 minutes.
Krieger with a back pass. Maybe could have used a little bit more pace, and Ashlyn Harris had to come out of her goal to slide and take the ball away from Manu Melis. First time the Dutch had been near the U.S. penalty box. Took them almost 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous pass back from Allie Krieger. Normally it's an easy pass for her, just got lost a little bit of focus when she played that ball back, but a nice job from Ashlyn Harris to come off the line.
Foster under pressure. Let's watch this again. Ashlyn Harris is jumping up on her leg. I don't know if she got hurt on this or not.
It looks like they both got a little piece of each other, because the Dutch player was also on the ground for a little bit. Nice play, though, from Harris.
Christian Press back to Tobin Heath. O'Hara went forward, and the ball wound up with Koster. Spitze with the ball. No problem for the U.S. back line. Now with Sauerbrunn. O'Hara. In the middle of the park, looking for Julie Johnston, who wound up losing the ball. No problem for Ashlyn Harris, who maybe had to wait for that just a little bit more than she would have liked, with Kirsten van den Ven coming in full speed. The U.S. moving the ball around. Tobin Heath. Heath spreads it wide. Gets it to O'Hara. O'Hara with a left foot. She wants that one back, and it will be a goal kick.
You even saw it on her face. She's like, yee. She definitely wants that back. She's used to playing on the left side, so she's not afraid of her left foot. She just maybe needed to take a touch. And here's a great play from Ashlyn Harris again. You can see just the pass was a little bit too slow, but both players got a little bit of a knock on them, but good play, no foul.
Allie Krieger with the back pass. Goal kick by Gertz. O'Reilly going long, looking for press. And Diane Beto just decides to clear the ball out of bounds. Under pressure again. Press. O'Hara to Heath. Everbush. The U.S. again. One touch passing, and now press. Goes back to the middle. Julie Johnston. Second game with the U.S. national team. Everbush with a shot. Oh, tipped over the bar. Lewis Gertz. Full extension there to get that ball over the bar as Everbush decided to try her luck from way outside.
And she is so good at long-range shots. Not only just getting them hard, but she also gets them on frame, and that's what's so difficult for goalkeepers to deal with. A great play from Kurtz to get the ball out from behind her goal, but an absolutely fantastic strike from Yael Everbush.
The corner kick was an in-swinger, went too far in. Her shot was better than a corner kick for sure, and it will be a goal kick.
And normally she is a set piece. She's brilliant at her set pieces, so that's just not normal for Yael to hit one out of bounds. But yeah, her shot was just brilliant. I love seeing that because it keeps the defense honest. They can't keep backing up with fear for Sydney Leroux and Kristen Press at speed. Now they have to play that shot, and that gives much more space in behind for Leroux and Press to find and get in behind their defense.
The Dutch right now feeling the pressure, lacking in precision, as the U.S. has dominated these first 12.5 minutes. Intercepted by Decker. Spreads it wide. And it will be a throw-in for the Netherlands. Vanden Heligenberg. Spitze. Switches it to the right side. Overlapping is Beto. Tobin Heath cut her off, and it will be a corner kick. The first one for the Dutch so far.
Well, they're starting to find their rhythm a little bit more now that the first 10 minutes are over. They're starting to see where the spaces are. They're getting more players up. They're not necessarily as afraid or nervous as they were, and that's why we're starting to see corner kicks, pressure on the goalkeepers, pressure on the defense, and it's a good sign for the Netherlands.
Low cross, and the U.S. clears it right out of bounds. It will be a throw-in. Van de Ven with a cross, turns into a shot, no problem for Ashlyn Harris. Harris, a young goalie who goes more for the spectacular style. And maybe we'll get a chance to see that at some point today. Leroux with a nice run. And Gertz has to come in and clear the ball out of bounds.
She's definitely one of the most athletic keepers that the United States has seen. She can jump so high. She may not be the tallest or biggest goalkeeper out there, but she makes up for it with her athleticism. And she's definitely one of those goalkeepers of the future that the United States is very excited about. If she can just stay, like we talked about, injury-free and just keep developing herself as a goalkeeper, she's one that I know that the United States has been a little worried with the future. She's one that's exciting. It's hard to make up for someone like a Hope Solo, who's definitely the best in the world, and Ashlyn Harris is one of those that can possibly do that.
The U.S. men and women seem to develop great goalies. Long shot over the bar. And we are still tied 0-0 here in the 15th minute. O'Reilly with that one. Good crowd despite cold temperatures. And don't forget, on ESPN2 on April 17th, the Mexican national team will travel out to San Francisco to meet Peru. All that, you can watch it in English here on ESPN2 as we cover the Mexican national team now. I had a chance to go down to Azteca for the U.S.-Mexico game. Part of our ESPN Deportes coverage. That's third time in a row I've been there. It is amazing. Ball in the box, a shot, oh, what a save! Rebound, press, off the line, it's cleared! And the best opportunity for the U.S., the second one they've created in the last 3 minutes. And the Dutch were lucky to get out of there alive.
Excellent stuff from their defense to cover their goalkeeper. Kurtz made the first initial save, which was so important, and then they all got in behind the ball, and that's why Kristen Press was unable to finish. But you got to love that the United States is getting there, getting a lot more opportunities.
Sauerbrunn was looking long, decides to spread it wide. Now they're looking for LaRue. And the Dutch, with a lot of pressure, wound up losing the ball. O'Reilly stole it. Beato tries to relieve some of the pressure. Vanden Ven back to Beato. Tobin Heath has been a workhorse so far. And here's that play again.
Yeah, nicely done from Press to realize she had time to turn. And then it was almost like a wall pass to herself from off of Coster. And goalkeeper Kurtz makes an excellent save, and then the defense is right in behind. That's exactly what you need from your defenders as a goalkeeper, is to know that if you're going to cover them, they also cover you. So brilliant stuff from the Dutch defense.
Two great saves. Ball is in the box. Heath tries to get at it. And the Dutch clear. And the U.S. has come down a lot as well, moving the ball, one touching it around. Heath has O'Reilly on the left. Heath's shot, it's deflected. No problem for Gertz.
You know, when the United States has settled down is when Tobin Heath and Heather O'Reilly are switching positions. And Tobin Heath basically comes in from Heather O'Reilly's position to get that shot off. Good decision of taking the shot, but they're so interchangeable over there. You're even seeing Yael Averbuch get out on the wings a little bit. And that's so dangerous coming from a defensive perspective, because you don't know who's going where, when they're coming through, and it's just a lot of communication on the part of the defense, but it's very chaotic to deal with. And it's just a great way and style that the United States has really implemented in the last few years.
And everybody, no matter who is in the lineup, is able to play it. I mean, this is a totally different team, except for Heather O'Reilly, than we saw against Germany. Press trying to get through the middle of the defense. Can't. Stopped by Coster, who goes long. And here comes a counterattack. In the box. The shot goes wide. First it was Vanden Ven, and then the shot by Menameli.
Great stuff from Vanden Ven, beating Kelly O'Hara. Just the ball gets a little bit away, but the defense from the United States does a nice job of getting back. Kelly O'Hara getting the ball, touching it just a little bit away. Melise just wants that one back a little bit because she had an opportunity to get a harder shot, but instead it just goes a little wide.
Best opportunity so far for the Dutch. And the Dutch now with a little bit more possession as we enter the 20th minute in the first half. Johnson trying to direct traffic, and the ball goes to Averbuch. And things have settled down definitely for the Dutch.
Definitely, they're playing the ball on the ground, 2 feet, which is allowing their attacking style players to get together up front and put the pressure on the back line. And it's just causing a little bit more havoc in the back line, but the United States has done a great job of really not allowing any obvious chances.
Beto and Van den Ven didn't understand each other on that play. Van den Ven went out. Beto thought she was going to go in. And it was another turnover. And the U.S. trying to play out of the back now. O'Hara for Johnston. Heavy touch, almost lost it. Had to scramble to get it back. Ball is out of bounds. Coster with her head. Heath. David Bush. Christian Press playing on the outside. Steps on the ball. But Coster was there. And we have a whistle.
Coster is really the only familiar player to a lot of the United States. She played for Sky Blue in New Jersey, and she's not one of those extremely fast center backs, but she's so smart with where she is with her body and the ball, and she gets the ball away from defenders without having to slide tackle. She's not overreaching because she anticipates where the ball is going to be played, and she beats the defender by smarts, not necessarily speed.
Sauerbrunn winds up winning the ball from Melis, who was coming down the left side. And then Hillenberg lost the ball, and here comes the U.S. again. Johnston. Finding LaRue. Spreading it wide. And it will be a corner kick for the U.S. Ball blocked by Vandenberg. Tom Sermanni looking over his team. Into the box, a header, it goes wide. And they say it went off Anouk Decker, so it'll be another corner kick for the U.S. This time coming from the other side, from the left side. Headed away, brought down. Recovered again by O'Hara. O'Hara looking maybe to take a shot, and we have a foul. So the U.S. gets a free kick right outside the box.
A little bit lucky here. I don't know if that's a foul. I mean, maybe she got a piece of her, and that's why she fell. But you can see why the Dutch team is a little bit upset. But there was a clip. I didn't think so when I first saw it, but after that replay, it looks like there was a clip and a good call from the referee.
So for the U.S., Tobin Heath seems to be lining it up. No, it's Averbush. Averbush is shot. And high and wide.
Yeah, she just got a little too much of that. She's been so good at the free kicks, getting it on frame, causing a lot of havoc, but that one just got a little bit away from her.
There is a U.S. bench on the upper left-hand corner. Everybody's available. 6 lineup changes allowed. Actually, in your game, when the last time you played the Netherlands, so you have 1 red card.
It was a crazy game.
You had 1 red card, and then Abby Wambach would come in as a substitute in the second half. She gets hurt. You wound up finishing the game with 9 players.
9 players on the field. It was chaos, and we were pulling everybody back. Players that were forward were looking like they were defenders at that point. It was chaotic. All I remember is I can't believe that we got through that without a goal against us.
That was in Seoul, South Korea. Avery Bush for Johnson. Spreads it out wide for O'Hara. O'Hara with a shot. And it'll be a goal kick again for the Dutch. The U.S. piling on the shots here. That was the 7th shot for the United States. 4 of them have been on goal.
Yeah, and Kelly O'Hara is kind of playing more of a striker role in that. They're playing her in the striker role with Sky Blue, so you're seeing a little bit of that come out with her. She's naturally a striker, so she wants to take the ball in, see if she can get a shot. I like to play a lot of times that you want your outside back to go on the outside, get the cross in, but sometimes you need to take a shot, and I like it.
Keeps the goalie on their toes, I'm sure. The Dutch bench scrolling underneath the scoreline. And we are still 0-0 here in the 26th minute. Ball in for press. Chests it down and then cleared away by Koster. Koster has had a busy evening so far. Another corner kick for the U.S. This is number 5 on the evening.
Great ball in from Johnston to Press. Press does a nice job of trying to settle it, but Koster does a better job of clearing it and getting it away from her goal.
Going short this time. And they'll have another one. Welcome to Kiosia Stadium in The Hague. The United States and Netherlands, the last game of the U.S. exhibition tour at this point, because it's 2 games after the Algarve Cup. Roberto Abramowitz and Kat Whitehill with you. There's a shot. Oh, saved off the line again. It was O'Reilly with the shot. O'Hara this time. She fires. It's blocked in front. And the Dutch defense scrambling, but again avoiding a goal.
They're doing an excellent job right now of making sure that they have bodies on the line. That is the 2nd time they have saved a goal off the line, and it's impressive that they are so aware and they're willing to get back. They really want to beat the United States today. You can tell just by the way their defense is playing. It's a nice job of punching the ball out from Kurtz. Heather O'Reilly might as well put the ball in frame. There's so many bodies, you never know what's going to happen. And it almost goes in, but the Dutch were able to save it.
You could have gotten a deflection there or simply found its way in. But no luck. A great save on the line by Sharita Spitze. The U.S. has been close, but so far no reward. Again, pressure from the U.S. and the Dutch trying to play out of the back. And the U.S. wins the ball. Bueller, but she committed a foul over Decker.
Well, the Dutch have to be a little careful right now. They're trying to play the ball out of the back. The United States wants to pressure. They're looking for them to make that kind of mistake, and Bueller didn't want the call. It could have gone either way, but the Dutch need to be much more careful with how they're controlling the ball in the back. Maybe look to play it over the top every now and then and relieve the pressure.
In the box for the U.S., the shot by LaRue. It is blocked. And another corner kick. They're starting to pile on.
And good job from Sydney LaRue there, beating her player with just a touch. She's got the speed, but Kurtz comes up with another big save. And even though the United States is getting a lot of corner kicks, the last one was really the first time that you felt like they had an opportunity on goal. They need to find players' heads and challenge the keeper.
The header, and it just went wide by Johnson, one of 2 college players who are on the U.S. national team. Johnson, who plays for Santa Clara in her 2nd cap today, first as a starter. The other one was Crystal Dunn, who plays for Urek's team, the Tar Heels.
And both of those players are coming from the U20 World Cup, where the United States beat Germany in the final, won the Women's World Cup, and They both had incredible performances there, and you have to love that Sermani is not afraid of going as young as possible to find the best talent, and that's what he's done with Crystal Dunn and Julie Johnston, and he's still going to be looking. He wasn't there for the college season this year for the United States, but he will be next year, and so he'll be able to see even younger players, and he'll keep an eye on the youth, U17, U20s, all of it.
The Dutch with the ball in the box, and I think it went out. Yes, it did. Nice run there by Licky Martens, trying to get at that one. Just couldn't catch up to him. And the U.S. is going to have another game once the new league starts playing, and that will be against Canada in BMO Field in Toronto. That game's already sold out.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy game. A lot of the Canadians are calling it a bit of a revenge factor from the semifinals in the Olympics. The fans are looking at it that way. It's going to be a really fun, hostile crowd for the United States, but it's going to be great for Canada soccer.
O'Reilly. Nice one, too, between Beto and Costa. The Dutch just don't seem to have the same comfort level on the ball that you see with the U.S. women.
They don't, but they're not afraid to play out of the back. You know, a couple of those times I would have thought that maybe they should have just cleared it, but they're trying to play, and you have to admire them for that. They still want to play the ball on the ground. They want to keep possession. They're trying to get better, and that's what this game is all about. And I'm pretty impressed that they haven't given up a goal because of it, but they're keeping.
And the U.S. will get a free kick. Rachel Bueller will handle it. And the U.S. is just going long into the box. Costa. She barely got the ball out of there. Beto makes a run. Ahead for Vandeman. Martens goes long, looking for the speed of Melis. And the U.S. was able to cut that off. Once more. The Dutch pressing on the right side. Here comes a cross by Vandenberg. No problem for Ashlyn Harris. Hasn't really been tested yet.
Yeah, not really. The only test was the miscommunication on the back pass between her and Ali Krieger, but she's still doing a nice job. You can hear her communication. She's directing the team, and even though she's a young player, she's putting her stamp on a leadership role, and that's what you want from a goalkeeper.
Johnson going back. O'Hara one touching for O'Reilly. Press. Johnson. Averbuch. One touch. Averbuch again between two. He wound up losing the ball. Spitze came back to help out on defense. And Gertz took a little bit too long with that, and the U.S. gets the ball again. Costa. For Vandeman. Ball goes out, and it's a throw-in for the Dutch. On ESPN3, we have Dutch soccer, PSV Eindhoven against Ajax. Don't miss it, April 14th here on ESPN3. You can watch it live or at any time or on Watch ESPN. Bueller went long and the ball was intercepted again by Beto. They spread it wide for Melis on the left side. Melis can't handle the ball, and it is a throw-in for the U.S. Game has sort of gotten into a rhythm, a little slower, a little bit more deliberate. The Dutch trying to take advantage on counters, and the U.S. trying to build up and create danger.
Yeah, it's definitely found a rhythm. Both styles, both teams have really implemented their style a bit, and you're getting a sense of what each team wants. And the United States just hasn't found that one combination to get in behind this Netherlands back line. We saw a little bit in the first game when the United States played Germany. This kind of happened. And then in the second half, it got really stretched because teams were trying to find that goal. So we'll see if that happens in this game as well.
Leroux with the ball. Press, lets it go. The shot. Goal! Tobin Heath. Her 8th goal in this, her 66th cap for the U.S. And it's a 1-0 lead.
Good job from Becky Sauerbrunn to win that ball. Sydney Leroux is able to beat her player. She's so fast, great with the ball. Looks up and finds Press. But Press has a nice job of just getting a little bit of a touch. And Tobin Heath, of course, is running on. She's everywhere on this field right now. An excellent finish, keeping it low and far post.
Heath, who plays her soccer in PSG in France. Talking about teams that want to spend some money.
You have to love what they're doing for the women's soccer game. They are just willing to get whatever players they can to make a great team. U.S.
again, pressed with a shot, and it's nicely deflected. And it will be a throw-in. Mandy Vandenberg throwing her body recklessly in front of that ball. 37th minute, offside, U.S.
We were just talking about the different style of plays. Now I'm interested to see, now that the United States have scored, what will the Netherlands do at this point? Will they keep playing in that slow pace, look, every now and then up top, or are they going to go a little bit more direct? It's going to be interesting. Maybe not in the first half, but definitely in the second.
Oh, playing with fire. Loose Gertz. She almost lost the ball in the 6th.
Kurtz is just playing too slow right now. This is the second time that a forward from the United States has gotten a touch on the ball. She has to get rid of it a lot quicker.
Christian Press almost had a gimme. Leroux lets the ball go. Sorry, that was Press. Leroux attacking there. And then Gertz clearing with her left foot. Oof. Big collision. Sauerbrunn says it's okay. Actually, the foul was on Vandenberg. For a second, when I saw her go back, I thought it was going to be the other way.
I did too. I actually was like, wait, what happened there?
Rachel Bueller, the captain for the U.S., will take this free kick. And again, she's going to go long into the box. Right on the line. Sauerbrunn to the right side. O'Reilly brings it down, looking for Krieger. Sauerbrunn lets the ball go out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in. The Dutch finally get the ball and give it right back. Johnson intercepts. And then couldn't control. And it's a foul on the U.S., a free kick for the Netherlands. Netherlands won the first game between these two teams way back in 1991. Since then, the U.S. has won the last 4 by a combined 16-0. Header into the box, no problem. Bido put it in there. Nobody was making a run, and Ashlyn Harris controls. 39th minute, going into the 40th, and the U.S. with a 1-0 lead. On the right side, Kirsten Vandenberg. Not much support, loses the ball. Here comes Press. Press down the middle, looking for Leroux. A little bit long. Leroux, oh, that's speed. Past Beto, no problem. O'Reilly sends it all the way back. Finding O'Hara. This is Heath. LaRue. Heath on the left side. O'Reilly with a cross. Johnson gets her head on it. Just a little bit high. The ball goes out and a throw in for the Netherlands.
And Allie Krieger needed to call Johnson off of that. She had a much better play at it, and it could have been a goal.
And the U.S. continues with the high pressure, which has been successful for them. So the Dutch really figure out a way to break it. They're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a decent enough job of breaking in the back line with the 5-yard passes and all of that. But, you know, they need to find a little bit more over the top.
Kristen Press. Nice move into the box. Sends it back to Heath, who took a shot. It was deflected. Heath goes after the ball again. Ball goes out. It'll be another corner kick for the U.S. Corner kick number 8 in this first half. The U.S. already with 11 shots.
Good job from Press to beat her defender. Finding Tobin Heath open again. But the defense is there for the Dutch, like they've been all day, except for one exception.
Cross into the middle. O'Reilly couldn't get it. The U.S. has it back. Second cross, looking for Johnston. Ball shot. Oh, and a save. Rachel Bueller was in the box, and another corner kick for the U.S. Been a busy day so far for Loes Gerks.
Great cheeky ball in from Tobin Heath. Lots of bodies in there. Just all you have to do is get it back, and that's why the United States was able to get a shot, because there was 4 blue shirts in the box.
Ball is cleared out. O'Reilly sends it back in. Looking for LaRue, a little bit too long, and it'll be a goal kick for the Dutch. The game has been one-sided as far as possession is concerned, but the scoreline remains just a 1-0 lead for the United States. The high pressure continuing to bother the Netherlands, but this time they're able to resolve the pressure. And the Dutch fans get excited as the ball is played in to Spitze, who winds up losing it. Van de Ven between 2, between 3, and wound up losing the ball. Sauerbrunn takes it, but it's intercepted by Koster. And now the Netherlands just wants to spread the field out a little bit.
Well, they have to hold the ball better at front. Spitze losing the ball way too easily. The United States just getting a little bit of a poke. And that's just too easy for them. If the Netherlands want to be successful at all, they have to hold the ball up so that they can get some more attacking personalities in together, into the box, playing some combination play. They haven't really gotten a lot of that maybe once this whole first half. They have to do a better job of holding and keeping the United States from just getting little nicks. That's what disrupts all offenses, and the United States has done a tremendous job at doing that.
They keep on trying to launch Mena Melis, Leke Martens up front, but they really haven't found them too often with good service. Ball stolen by Vinden Heligenberg. Cross into the box. Easily taken by Vandenberg. Van den Ven leaves it off for Beto. Hogendijk. And she goes all the way back to her goalie, Loes Gerks. A minute to go plus stoppage time here in the first half. Nice ball inside to Press. Press one-on-one. The shot. Goal! Kristen Press. goal in 7 U.S. national team appearances for Kristen Press.
And it's one again, very at the beginning from the back line. Cindy LaRue does an excellent job of finding a wide open Press. And Press just calmly takes the ball and plays it right where she needs to. She is a natural goal scorer, doing a tremendous job every time she gets on the field for the United States.
Press, who plays for Teresa in Sweden, is a teammate of Kristen Vanden Ven. And she has just excelled. Every opportunity she seems to get, she seems to find the back of the net.
Yeah, she is just a goal scorer. She did it in college. She's doing it over in Sweden and now for the United States. She's finally getting her shot with this team and just making the most of every opportunity. I think playing it over in Sweden has really helped her game. She was a little bit one-dimensional in college, and now she's really got all the tools. I think that she's one of those players to watch for the United States, definitely for a roster spot, but she could really compete somewhere on the field for the starting 11.
She's going to put a lot of pressure. Although the U.S. just seems to have so many outstanding forwards. Tobin Heath, Kristen Press with the goals for the U.S. Obviously, you start with Wambach, and you have Alex Morgan, who is scoring goals at a ridiculous pace. And then, you know, how do you bench somebody like Cindy LaRue? It's like you have just so much. Everybody just has to fight harder in practices. Practices must be fun.
They must be fun. Lots of goals, obviously, since all 4 of them are just scoring goals so well right now. And the depth up front is something so exciting for the United States. And to have that tough a decision is a good, tough decision to have for Tom Servani.
Not bad. Meanwhile, a good first half for the United States. They wind up with a 2-0 lead. 8 shots on goal. Out of 12 shots in general, 9 corner kicks. It's been all one-sided. And the U.S. goes to halftime ahead by 2. When we come back, we will have highlights and more as the USA is on top of the Netherlands 2-0.
make me train long.
Cross to the back post, there's the moment. Abby Wambach.
You make me try harder.
You make me dream bigger.
And when something's in my way, you make me push through it.
To save by Hope. Singular route for the United States to Alex Morgan. Lloyd kills it around the wall and into the back of the net.
You make me see the person I want to be.
Welcome back to The Hague. The United States enjoying a 2-0 lead. Goals by Tobin Heath and Christian Press. For the United States, Christian Press for her 5th goal in 7 games. Just an outstanding pace for her. And the U.S. basically dominated the game from beginning to end.
Yeah, they really did. They had most of the possession, and the first shot on goal that was very dangerous was from Yael Averbuch. She's so good at the long-range shots, and the goalkeeper, Kurtz, just barely comes up with a save. But because of that shot, this is when it really started to open up some space in behind for the United States. And Kristen Press was everywhere today and does a little bit of 1-2 with herself, and the Dutch defender almost gets in, but of course the Dutch save the ball off the line. And here's really their one and only chance against the United States. Nice job of getting in the box, having players in the box, but just a not good enough job on getting the shot on frame, and it makes it easy for Ashley Harris to deal with. And here come the goals for the United States. Well done from everyone. Getting in the box, and Tobin Heath finishing it exactly where it's supposed to go. Low and far corner. LaRue, you can see her, she just looks up. She finds Press, but Tobin Heath had a better angle, and she gets the ball because Press was able to shield her defender a bit.
Well, the United States has outshot the Netherlands by 9-1 so far. By 16-1 rather, and 9-1 in corner kicks. There's Christian Press's goal again. That was just such a nice move, and once she gets in behind the defense, she's a clinical finisher.
She really is. She's so calm and collected, and it's so hard when you see a goalkeeper running at you. The first thing you want to do is kind of freak out, but not for Press. She takes a big deep breath and is able to finish it just as easily.
Well, officially it's 12-1 on shots. Shots on goal is 8-0. And the discrepancy in corner kicks, offsides, no yellow cards so far, thankfully. It's been pretty clean game, very few fouls to begin with. And it's been all U.S. Let's see what the Netherlands tries to do in the second half. Meanwhile, June 2nd from BMO Field in Canada, the United States Women's National Team will meet Canada in a rematch of what was a sensational, hard-fought, and controversial semi-final in London. You can watch that game on ESPN News, and that will be live. Of course, ESPN3 and Watch ESPN will have it as well. 2-0 USA at the break. back in the ADO Den Haag Stadium in Den Haag, in the Hague, which would be the English version of that. The United States up 2-0 on the Netherlands. This is, as we said, the second game of a two-game exhibition tour. I hate to call them friendlies because sometimes they're just not really friendly. But this one turned out to be pretty friendly and pretty intense. The U.S. and Germany last Friday.
This was an excellent game and such a fun game to watch. As so many different players did what they do best in so many ways. And Megan Rapinoe giving the ball to Abby's head, and then she just makes an absolute fantastic goal here. Completely unsavable for Germany, and then just a little misclearance, miscommunication on the United States defense part. Germany does a nice job of putting the pressure on the back line. You see bodies just flying everywhere, and Germany finishes. But then Alex Morgan scoring yet again. Just so easy. She just perfect ball placed from Lauren Cheney right over the defense, and then she's got the sophistication in class just to just pop it right over. And here's a little bit of controversy here. I didn't think it was a penalty kick. Perfectly placed penalty kick, but I didn't think it was a penalty kick. And here, it could have been a foul against Germany, but instead they get a goal out of it as Ingen got taken down in the box from the Germany player. And it just didn't go in for him. And the United States had one last opportunity. Sydney Leroux almost got the game winner here. But Feist for Germany was able to clear it off the line. A lot of that in that game and a lot of clearing off the line in this game. So the United States, you know, is going after them and trying to get as many goals as possible.
And Abby Wambach, who opened the scoring, all those goals, by the way, in the second half, gets to 155, and she is 3 behind Mia Hamm. And the way that Alex Morgan is scoring goals, just one wonders if Abby, no disrespect mind you, is just really a placeholder until Alex gets there. But so far, I mean, 3 extraordinary players, no matter what. And we're waiting to see if she can catch her. Hashtag chasing Mia, if you want to follow it on Twitter. We may see Abby Wambach in the second half. USA up 2-0 on the Netherlands. We'll be back with more from The Hague. Welcome back to ADO Den Haag Stadium. The United States up 2-0 on a cold day in The Hague. Tom Sermani and the U.S. He's got to be happy with what he sees. Lineup change for the Netherlands as Danielle Van de Dam comes in. My partner, Kat Whitehill, Roberto Abramowitz with you. Thank you so much for being here. Kat played 137 times for the U.S. national team. And played against the Netherlands and scored against the Netherlands. The last time that the U.S. played, the U.S. obviously in their away blues and the Dutch in their traditional orange. So far, only Danielle Van de Donk has come into the game. We haven't seen who she replaces so far. When we get that information, we will get it to you. The U.S. pressing hard again, as they've done throughout the match. But now a break down the right side. This is Van den Ven. Into the box, Sauerbrunn clears. And O'Hara goes after the ball and sends it to midfield. Nice work coming back by Press. Pressuring Diane Bidon. But it'll still be a throw-in for the Netherlands.
Well, it looks like now the Netherlands are going to try and play. Just based on that last go of it for the Netherlands up front, they've spread it out a little bit more. They already had the 3 players out wide instead of just having the one Milas sitting up top for them. So maybe now that they know they're down 2-0, they're going to try and play a different style of play, more of a 4-3-3 look.
We saw Rogers Reiners, who took over this team in 2010 after he had a great run with the Matildas in Australia. Heath pressuring, ball goes out of bounds, and it will belong to the U.S. Kristen Van den Ven lost it.
You don't see that very often, a bad throw.
Yeah.
I call it a bad throw in from Kelly O'Hara. It's a rare call.
Foul on the U.S. as Lieke Martin was just trying to bring the ball down. That'll be a free kick for the Netherlands. As they look for their first goal against the United States since 1991. Mind you, not that they play every year. This is only the 6th time since then. Sometimes those stats sound like so, incredible. Oh, how could they not score? Well, they only played twice. But in this case, they've played 5 times, or 4 since then. This is the 5th. Creeping up to take the throw in. And the U.S. will get it again. Ali Krieger will take it again. Headed away by Spitze. Krieger down the line. LaRue was fouled. Being held by Claudia Van den Heligenberg. And I apologize if I've ruined that name a couple of times. Not been an easy one. The U.S. pretty much sending half the team up into the box. Long ball in, the header, and it goes wide. They were able to find Rachel Bueller.
This is a nice free kick in. Rachel Bueller does a good job of getting in front of Koster, getting a little piece of head on it, but I would like to see maybe the United States have done that a lot. They've put the ball in, they're putting a lot of numbers forward, maybe play a little bit short. One of the things that the Dutch is really good at is heading the ball and winning those 50-50 type of balls. Why not play a little bit shorter, especially to players like Tobin Heath and Kristen Press and Heather Riley and Cindy LaRue. They've got the skills. They can make something happen if they have a little bit of space.
It will be a throw-in for the Netherlands. O'Reilly closing down Van den Heligenberg. Ooh, pressure. And I think she wound up getting hurt there, and that was Daphne Koster with Cindy LaRue coming in on her. And Koster is holding her right ankle. There is Christine Battinger, who is our referee for today. And she's allowing the Dutch trainers to come in and take care of Koster.
This is that high pressure from the United States. LaRue does an excellent job of getting to the ball. It does look like maybe the bottom of her cleat got the ankle of Koster, and that's what she's holding.
LaRue just will not give up on those. Neither will anybody on the U.S. I mean, any time that they smell that they can get a ball, they're there. Roger Rayners looking on. Newcastle and Sunderland. That will be on ESPN3. That will be on April 14th, 7 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, 4 in the morning for those of you getting up on the West Coast. Good game here on ESPN3 as the English Premier League winds down. And it's been a great race both at the top for the Champions League places, because it almost seems like, unless there's another miracle of some sort, that the championship is pretty much decided. But the bottom, who is going to go down? Can Brad Guzan and Aston Villa stay up? Long shot. And it goes way over the bar. Blake Martins.
Yeah, I saw that based on the Manchester United loss to Manchester City, the probability of them winning went down to 99.43%. So
oh my goodness, they must be really worried on the red side of Manchester.
Has to be.
Although the finish of the league last year couldn't get any better, affecting both the top and the bottom, and the title being decided in stoppage time.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was fun.
Doesn't always happen that way.
No, it doesn't. It's not going to happen this way, that's for sure. So it's fun for last year.
O'Hara with the push. Got the ball. And the U.S. has a throw-in. Tobin Heath going back. Ball for Ali Krieger, a little bit too long. It'll be a throw-in for the Netherlands. The U.S. with a seemingly comfortable 2-0 lead so far here in the 53rd minute. The Dutch and the Belgians have got together and have put together a league for the past 3 years, which is really going to help improve both countries. LaRue, that touch got away from her, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick.
I just love the fact that more federations are putting forth the effort, and as you see Tom Sermani there, but they're putting forth the effort to develop women's soccer, and we as the United States has really worked on trying to develop the youth there, and Canada and Mexico joining in with the NWSL and making this new league one of the best in the world, and now Holland and Belgium coming together and creating something as well. And you want to see the parity from top to bottom, and the only way to really do that is to create a league where women can play in it, and to play solely and not have other jobs, so they can still work on their skills and get better, and more women will be able to play, and there's a better more players to choose from.
Absolutely, a lot more talent. I mean, when the Dutch played the U.S. the last time, this is a team that trained twice a week, and they had other jobs, they did other things. Now they're training 6 days a week. They play club soccer. There's been a lot of money invested, not only by the Dutch Federation, but club teams like Ajax especially, into women's soccer. And not only that, there's a lot of women who have been, a lot of girls, young girls, playing with the boys in the youth academy. This is the injury that Koster suffered when LaRue went in, and she doesn't look like she's going to be able to continue. She's out again.
If that's the case, if she can't come back in the game, that's a big loss for this Dutch team. Not only is she probably their best defender, but she's their leader on the back line, and she's going to keep that team together. And if she goes out, which it looks like it's going to happen, it's going to be a very, very dangerous situation for the back line. But Sydney LaRue and Kristen Press should be just salivating, thinking about getting it behind.
Leona Stentler got up from the bench. And we will see if she is going to come into the game. 56 minutes. This game hasn't had the action that the game against Germany did, for sure. But it's been a very good exercise for the U.S. as Tom Sermanni gets a chance to see some of the backup players and how they perform and what they can contribute going forward. And it gives them, obviously, a lot of experience where they're going to get better. This is press. Nice ball for LaRue's offside. Not a good moment for the Dutch as Koster has to go to the locker room and Stentler comes in for her. She also plays for Ajax in what they call the B-Knee League. So it's Belgium and Netherlands League. And the captain's armband goes to Mandy Vandenberg. So let's see how the U.S. decides to attack this situation. As all of a sudden the mainstay of the back line of the Dutch team is out of the game.
I was wondering at the beginning of the game how Kristen Press and Sydney Leroux would combine together today, and they've done an excellent job. And this is just another test for the Dutch defense is to handle those two. They have done an excellent job. Leroux was just called offside from a pass from Press, and Leroux found Press on that goal. So they've just done an excellent job of combining and figuring out how to get in behind the back line, but also, you know, working with their midfields. They've done well connecting with Heath and O'Reilly and Averbush up there, and it's done an excellent job of the front five for the United States.
And when we were wondering early how long could the U.S. continue that high pressure, well, they've done it from the opening whistle to the present, and they win another turnover as a throw-in for the United States. Press going long into the box. Two U.S. players there, including Heather O'Reilly. And Gertz got there first. The ball for Spitze, who couldn't control Press. And there's a foul. Tender ankle, even with all the protection for Daphne Koster. The U.S. playing the ball out of the back. Krieger. Averbush. A little bit short. No problem. For Bueller. Johnston. She took an instant too long and wound up losing the ball. Spitze. Bad cross intercepted by O'Reilly. And here comes the U.S. on the counter. Here comes Press. He's got help on the right side. Gets it to the box. A shot! Goal! The scoring assault continues by Christian Press. Second goal of the game. 6 goals in 7 games wearing the U.S. national team uniform, and it is 3-0 the United States.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Koster's not out, and Vandenberg just was kind of all by herself. The run from Ali Krieger really caused a little bit of chaos. No one was able to come over to help because they had to be aware of Krieger, and Kristen Press makes the right decision on taking on her own and a perfectly placed ball and goal.
And the Dutch will wind up with a corner kick. The ball went off Tobin Heath. It was so nice the way she turned her defender. She just a little bit left, a little bit right, and then was able to pick out a corner and put the ball right there. There's a header deflected off the line. As the U.S. was almost scored upon. Harris got there. I don't know if she got it, or was it Krieger on the line who took that ball away, who kicked that ball away? Let's see.
Good job on the corner kick for the Dutch, and just kind of wide open. Nobody has a bite on it. Definitely Harris gets a touch on it. Good job of putting it in the corner, but that's what the post is there for, to help Ashlyn Harris, which fortunately Ashlyn got the save.
Anouk Hogendijk with the header. Long ball, and Harris lets it go out of bounds. Hogendijk made her debut for Holland in 2004. 27-year-old midfielder who was born in Utrecht. Harris has it. She hasn't had much to do, but she's responded well in those occasions when she's had. Krieger, Johnston, nice one touch for O'Reilly. O'Reilly going long, fights Christian Press on the right side. Press with a cross, a little bit long for LaRue. Gets right to Tobin Heath, brings it down. Overlap run, here's a shot, ball in the box. LaRue with a shot, and it goes wide. And then kicked off the line by Mandy Vandenberg.
Great job from Tobin Heath to settle it. Just a little ball to O'Hara, and she gets the ball in. Well done from LaRue to get a touch on it. And again, the Dutch defense is getting onto the line and helping out Kurtz, their goalkeeper, and they're just trying everything that they can to keep the ball out of the back of their net.
They've scrambled all night long. U.S. has it back again. Krieger goes into the box, far post, looking for LaRue. Kurtz comes out, and I think she got hit there.
Here it is again, and just a little ball, not much touch, but perfectly placed so that O'Hara can one-time it. LaRue just gets a foot on it, and they were able to clear it off the line. Vandenberg was. And LaRue is starting to kind of be everywhere. She wants to get in on the goal scoring, like Press has had 2 and Tobin with 1, and she's just not afraid to get into the box, and if she has to head the goalkeeper like she did on the last play, she will.
Be surprised that you haven't seen many changes, but before we get to that, let's remind you that on April 14th on ESPN3, PSV Eindhoven against Ajax in the Dutch League. Be with us here on ESPN3. Watch ESPN on your iPhone, iPad, Android, tablet. It's just about everywhere. And it looks great, by the way.
It really does.
It really does. Do you have a good Wi-Fi signal? Crystal clear. Are you surprised that the U.S. has made no changes so far? Yeah, here we go.
Well, this would have been the substitution that I would have made if I were Coach Shimani. She's the one player, Klingenberg, that hasn't really gotten a whole lot of minutes. She's been dealing with injuries herself, and now she's getting an opportunity. Heather O'Reilly played a lot of minutes in that Germany game and playing a lot here, so they need to get her a little bit of a rest. And now you can really get a good look at what Klingenberg is all about. She's another exciting young player for the United States, and see kind of how she's dealt a little bit with her injuries. But from what I've gathered from the U.S., she's doing really well. And they're even going to put her on the back line and put Kelly O'Hara into the midfield where O'Reilly was.
This is her 3rd cap right now. She's out of contract. Born in Gibsoria, Pennsylvania. Normally a midfielder, 5'2", not exactly the tallest. But in soccer, that doesn't seem to matter too much.
Well, and the thing with her is, even if she's 5'2", she's still actually pretty good in the air. She can time the ball really well, and she can distract the bigger sized players from getting that header, and so it makes it a little bit harder. I mean, considering she is 5'2", she's pretty good in the air. But what she does bring is she's a workhorse, very technically gifted, but she's going to get up and down that flank as much as possible.
The U.S. wins it back. LaRue on the left side. 2 U.S. players in the box. Decides to settle it down and play it back for Averbuch. Klingenberg. Averbuch. Tobin Heath. As a U.S. very patient building the offense. Sauerbrunn with the ball in the box. Krieger with a cross, and it is cleared out for a throw-in for the U.S. Now Mandy Vandenberg seems to be very busy in that back line.
Yeah, she's very busy. She's been clearing it off, but she was the one that lost the 1v1 battle to Press, and has to do a little bit better of moving her feet, and the defense has to do a little bit better for the Netherlands of getting over and help cover. I mean, it's hard to defend a Kristen Press 1v1, and it's a lot easier if you know that you have your back line in behind you to cover.
Vandenberg. Cut off by Sauerbrunn. And it really has been a very easy day for the U.S. back line. 3 opportunities at best, 1 of them really good. And that's been about it for the Dutch. Long ball for Press, looking for the hat-trick, and she's got the brace so far.
Yeah, the Netherlands just haven't really gotten a whole lot going when it comes to their front 5. They've done a nice job of keeping the ball in the back and playing it on the ground and getting the combination play, but as soon as they get into their attacking third, they just completely lose the ball. The defense for the United States just hounds the player with the ball, and they're able to win it because there's only 1 player really up there, and maybe 2 at most, and they're just not holding the ball long enough to get their attacking style players forward. And now you're really starting to see that the Netherlands are just tired. They've been running so much, and it's a lot harder to play defense on your fitness than it is offense, and you're starting to see that a little bit right now.
And for the U.S., the last game of the 6 that they've played in Europe between the Algarve Cup and the 2 games against Germany in here and the Netherlands. And soon the National Women's Soccer League starts up. When is your first game?
Sunday. Boston Breakers taking on the Washington Spirit, so it's exciting.
And that will be at?
That will be at Boston. So first game is a home game for us, so that's kind of nice.
So where is your stadium for you this year?
It's in Somerville, actually. It's at Dilboy Stadium, so it's a perfect size stadium. We sold out all of our games last year, and it's a fantastic atmosphere for women's soccer and great fans.
And ticket sales going briskly so far?
Oh yeah, hoping to get more and more as the game nears.
Here comes a cross by Mellis. No problem there for the U.S. Brought down by Spitze. Hagendijk with a cross blocked. And one of the few times that the Dutch team tried to build something near the U.S. box, but the U.S. defense no problem clearing it away.
And the defense is just, right now, all they need to do is just poke the ball away just a little bit, and they've done exactly that. Every player on the back line, they're just getting a little bit of toe in, disrupting the Netherlands attack, and the United States has their midfielders coming back and winning that second ball, and it's been a great defense when it is necessary for the U.S.
Johnston going long. On the right side is O'Hara. A little bit too long for Press. And no problem for Gertz.
Well, O'Hara's laughing because it might have not been too long. It was almost like Kristen Press just didn't have the legs to go after it.
Well, she's been running all day, so have most of the U.S. women, or all of them, I should say.
That's when you see that high pressure that the United States has kept up all game. That's when you see kind of why a lot of people don't want to press too long, because you want your attacking players to have the legs to run after that kind of ball. And when you press all game like the United States has, then sometimes you're just not going to have the legs to go after it, and it was shown right there.
No problem there for Klingenberg. From Kyocera Stadium in The Hague, Netherlands, the U.S. up 3-0 on the Dutch. Roberto Bramowitz, Captain Whitehill with you. Thank you so much for joining us here on ESPN3, ESPNW. And also watch ESPN while we have a yellow card on the play, and that is the first one of the game.
It's actually a really smart yellow card, because Sydney Leroux did a nice job of getting past the defender here and should have been off to the races. Might as well found that situation, because it would have been a 1v1, 2v2 type situation for the defense.
Spoken as a true defender.
I like smart fouls.
Yeah, I'm sure. Those of us who love offense, by the way, people come to see goals, not fouls. I just thought I should remind you of that. I know that that's not your problem, but there's a header! And Johnston scores. No, she doesn't. Or does she? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. All right.
So close, so close. Well, that's pretty close.
Yeah. That looked good.
That looked good to me. My guess, though, is that because of when the ball was sent, there was two players for the United States that set up offside on purpose, and maybe the referee thought it was too close to call, and she had to call those players off since the ball got played in that vicinity.
Hogendijk got the yellow card for the foul on Leroux. And it was sort of hard to figure out. We don't have the direct view of the lineswoman to see if she had called offside or not. And based on the reactions, thought you were, thought it was, thought it wasn't. Here comes a cross ball dangerously in the 6-yard box, and the U.S. is able to clear it out. Klingenberg was there to do that. The Dutch risking a little bit more, trying to go forward, trying to play. But there is a difference in talent.
Yeah, this is a good play from Mila. She's their top player, and it just gets through the back line, and there's no one from the Netherlands to get there. That's what the surprising thing to me is. They are pressing, they have some numbers, but nobody was going after it thinking that Harris was going to make the save. You have to go for it, even thinking that she's going to save it.
Well, Miles plays for Malmo FC in the Swedish league, and she's a great goal scorer, 26 years old. And she scores 2 goals for every 3 games at the club level. Her father played for 7 years, most of them for Feyenoord, Harry Mellers.
And she's a player that a lot of the coaches in the NWSL have really had their eye out for. She almost came over with Sky Blue before the WPS ended. They just are very excited about her. She's young, she's fast, she's crafty, very good on the ball, and she's not afraid to take players on, but of course, she's an excellent goal scorer.
Here comes the cross deflection, and it just goes wide. Kelly O'Hara in the box. O'Hara plays for Sky Blue FC. 38 caps, looking for her first goal. This is cap number 39.
Yeah, and wide open. Not very good marking from the Netherlands. She just wasn't able to open up her hips enough to get the ball on frame.
A one-sided affair so far. The scoreline probably flattering to the Dutch based on possession and chances. Good job covering the ball by Leon Stentler. And the crowd has done their job trying to help their native land. but it's just been too much U.S. Abby Wambach made some news earlier this week by talking about the upcoming World Cup and the fact that she didn't like, meanwhile the U.S. with a chance in the box, a shot by Tobin Heath goes wide. She didn't like the fact, and I guess most players won't, that artificial turf will be in most of the stadiums, if not all the stadiums in Canada for the World Cup. And can that change?
You know, there's time to change, and I actually talked to Abby a little bit about it, and she gave me some bullet points that, you know, is very important to her. For one, you know, this is kind of almost a gender discrimination thing. You've never seen the men play on artificial turf, and this is not against the Canadian Federation at all. It's solely, you know, with FIFA, as we see a foul with Tobin Heath, and definitely a foul, good foul to be called, and a great opportunity for the U.S. But she talked about how, you know, the playing turf is just different, and it could level the playing field. And also for injury prevention, turf is just a lot harder on the body, especially when you're playing a lot of games in a very short amount of time that you're not used to. And she says that there is time. In the end, it's all about the money, and she wants, you know, to mobilize a lot of the team leaders from around the world and really talk to FIFA. She wants everyone to know for sure it's not against the Canadian Federation. She's mobilizing people in an effort against FIFA right now.
The shot by Averbuch, again over the bar. She's had a couple of those and went high.
Yeah, she's just leaning back a little bit too much. Like I said, set pieces are one of her strengths, and she's normally good at getting those on frames. Today, she's just getting a little bit too much of the ball and leaning back a little bit too much.
O'Hara with the cross into the box, no problem for Gertz. Had a busy day so far. The U.S. back line rarely unsettled today. Quite a different story from Friday. And the U.S. preparing 2 more lineup changes. Lauren Cheney and Alex Morgan. Just what the Dutch don't want to see.
I was just thinking that. Fresh legs to put the pressure up top. Alex Morgan going in with lots of speed, and Lauren Cheney with her ability with that through ball. It's so dangerous.
So Morgan comes in for O'Hara. And Yael Averbuch leaves, and Lauren Cheney comes in. For Cheney, who plays for FC Kansas City, 86 cap. Morgan, this will be cap number 65, and she's on 42 goals. With a stunning goal and a lineup change for Holland as well. Sylvia Smith comes in and replaces Kirsten Vandenven. So one wonders if we will see Abby Wambach. I would think at this point I would doubt it if he didn't come in at the same time that Morgan came in. And so the chasing Mia will be on hold and stay at 155 for now.
Yeah, I doubt it too. I think that with Alex coming in and still needs to gain experience. You think she's a seasoned vet, but she, you know, is still extremely young, and it's a great opportunity for her to get experience playing against a team like the Netherlands in the Netherlands, and that's something that you can't replicate very easy, and it's good for her to get a little bit of that under her belt.
playing in the hotbed of soccer in the United States, or one of them anyway, in Seattle, where it seems like everything that's soccer just seems to sell tons of tickets.
Portland.
Portland as well.
Yes,
that's right. There's a shot and a goal! Nice touch. Beautiful play. Madam Elise. Oh, how did this develop so quickly?
Well, this is just a little bit of a lack of focus from the defense. And Milas does a nice job of just sneaking in there. Krieger's in the right position. Just didn't really see her, didn't get a good look, and Milas stays onside. A job well done on just flipping it past Ashlyn Harris. And, you know, that's the potential, though, that Milas has. When she touches the ball, or if she makes the right run and they get her the ball, she is so good at doing that. That's why she's such an exciting young player for this Netherlands team. And it was a little bit of lack of focus. When you get up 3-0 in your last 10 minutes, you think you kind of, you know, have it in the bag. And Milas was able to kind of surprise the United States back line a little bit.
Well, let's see if this is just a one-off, or all of a sudden the Dutch get inspired here and create a problem for the U.S. U.S. had a 3-1 lead on Germany after the 80th minute, and it wound up 3-3. Cheney with a shot there, and it goes wide.
And that was a good ball through to Cheney, but if Tobin Heath had looked up just a little bit, she would have seen that Sydney Leroux was wide open. But here it is again, the goal. So easy and so hard to defend on both Krieger and Harris's part at that point where the ball was played. She does a nice job of just flipping it over. That's world class.
'83rd minute, and another lineup change. Martins comes out, and she's replaced by number 20, Marius Pijetu. And the crowd is woken up by that goal.
And the wave.
And the wave. Something to stay warm.
Well, and a lot of times with these substitutions, both teams now have made quite a few. You're going to see in these last 7 minutes, you're going to see a little bit of chaos because players are trying to kind of get their feet under them, get the flow of the game, and because there's so many at the same time, you just don't really have that rhythm that you had before. So for both the Netherlands and the United States, it's going to be chaotic, and this is an opportunity if the Netherlands really pressure the U.S. for them to maybe get another goal.
Krieger going back, finding Sauerbrunn. Left side, Klingenberg. There's the last substitution we saw. Sauerbrunn going high for that ball. And stolen now by Lauren Cheney. Leroux finds Christian Press. Press looking for the hat trick. The shot, and it goes high.
To go for it, but you can see the ball got right as she's about to take it, gets kind of a little bit of a bounce, and that's why it flies high and over, and no real chance of a rebound.
The U.S. with the ball once again. Tobin Heath had a strong game. Morgan steps on the ball, her first touch. Cheney in the box. Down she goes. Sometimes there's contact in the box and a player goes down and it's nor a foul nor is it embellishment. And that was exactly the case there. Sometimes referees feel it's either a foul or embellishment. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's just contact, somebody goes down, and that's it. Pat Whitehill, Roberto Abramowitz with you. Thank you for joining us today in the end of this mini U.S. tour after the Algarve Cup. The U.S. up 3-1. Tobin Heath with the goal. Sydney Press with 2. And Alex Morgan just came in the game. She uses her speed to get down the line. Here comes a cross. Cleared away by Vandenberg. Throw in for the U.S. And they will get another one. Morgan in no hurry. Sauerbrunn. Krieger on the right side. The U.S. doing nicely, just keeping possession right now. Heath. On ESPN2 on April 17th, the Mexican national team, the full national team, will play Peru. That will be in San Francisco. You can watch it in English on ESPN2. The Dutch trying to find the ball now. They are down 2 goals. And they're looking to see if they can get one closer. Sylvia Smith. And the U.S. gets the ball back. Smith, who plays for Zwolle in the new Belgian-Dutch league. And by being obviously another league, it will not only give opportunities for the Belgian players and Dutch players, but obviously players from other countries to be able to develop their craft at a high level.
Yeah, you have to love the fact that there's leagues out there, and for the most part, a lot of times it's just been the United States and Sweden and Germany, and now, you know, Finland has got a league. England is really pursuing the women's league. France is as well, and they're just putting forth the money and the effort to create, you know, world-class leagues, and that's what the women's game so desperately needs. And it's exciting to see that the Netherlands and Belgium are combining very similarly to the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and that's what you need to do is to really create the best leagues that you could possibly create.
And the National Women's Soccer League starts off this week. And you can catch Pat Whitehill in Boston with the Breakers, the Boston Breakers, this Sunday. U.S. Soccer committed to women's soccer, obviously, and backboning this effort to get this league started, and hopefully it will gain roots like MLS has and create a permanent and stable environment for women to be able to play. Tobin Heath, Christian Press, and Manamali for the Netherlands. Rachel Bueller with a foul there. As we are in the 90th minute, plus 2 to 3 minutes of stoppage time. And that long plane ride home for most of these players will be an enjoyable one.
Yeah, they're probably really excited to get back to the U.S. and get started playing games with their teams. A lot of us have been back here in preseason, but they're getting to play games over in Germany and Holland. But I know that all the teams are excited to get their national team players back and pick the level of play up even more.
So you'll be able to speak to Heather O'Reilly about as Heather plays with you in Boston?
Yep, her and Sydney LaRue.
That's right.
Get to talk to them a little bit about these games and how they felt.
Free kick for Holland. We're in stoppage time. Tobin Heath maybe not at 10 yards away. The shot going straight on goal. Good try.
I mean, if that's really a shot, I mean, it's a bold shot from such an interesting angle, but it was pretty close. I'm actually impressed.
Sharita Spitze with the shot. Born in Sneek. Plays for Herenveen. We're on the men's side. That team is coached by Marco van Basten. Handball against the U.S. Brought down by Lauren Cheney. Ball into the box. Harris comes out. Controls, no problem. They were going long for Marius Pidetu. Krieger. LaRue. Morgan. LaRue. Cheney. Going long into the box. Tobin Heath brings it down, but can't control. The ball goes out of bounds, and it's a goal kick for the Netherlands. Good coverage there by Mandy Vandenberg.
I just love that the United States isn't stopping their attack, even though they are in stoppage time right now, up 3-1. They still want to work on the timing of runs and play in the combination play, and that's a nice ball from Cheney to Heath.
And for the Netherlands, their next stop is a European Championship, and they don't exactly have an easy group. They play Iceland, France, and Germany.
Yeah, I'd call that the group of death for sure. It looks like it's going to be one of those teams coming out of there might win the whole, or will probably win the whole thing. So if you can make it out of your group, you've gotten a good practice going into the quarters and semis and finals.
And Germany, the #2 team in the world, would have to be the prohibitive favorite to win the tournament, which is being held in Sweden. And a offside. And Mana Malid looks like she got hurt on that play. She's limping it off a little bit, her left ankle. Free kick for the U.S. Ashlyn Harris. This will probably be the last kick of the game. And it is. A very good showing by a very young U.S. team that came in to The Hague and wins 3-1 with most of the starters on the bench.
Yeah, and they just did an impressive job of keeping the rhythm that they wanted and finding the combination play up front. The defense was very sound, doing what they needed to do, except for the one goal that they gave up. They were very impressive, but the front five was the most impressive. You had Tobin Heath and Yael Averbush and Heather Riley just interchanging between their midfielding roles, and then Kristen Press and Cindy LaRue. They were playing off each other extremely well, so you have to be encouraged for the depth of the United States. It's something that Tom Sermani has to be very excited about.
Well, if you missed the goals, we're going to show them all to you when we come back. Final stats and final thoughts from Kat Whitehill. The United States, 3-1. Kristen Press with a couple for the U.S. We'll be back with more from The Hague. Welcome back to The Hague, where the U.S. finishes its two-game European tour by beating the Netherlands by a score of 3-1. Let's show you how the goals were scored and all the other action that was relevant in this match. And the United States gets an early shot. Averbuch with the long-distance try.
Yeah, and it's an excellent long-range shot from Averbuch to put it on frame and make it a tough save for the goalkeeper. And then Kristen Press kind of starts her action right after that and almost scores here. Basically 1-2ing it with Koster, the defender for the Netherlands. And the United States, they didn't have a whole lot of action defensively, but this is one of the few times that the Netherlands got in behind and was able to get somewhat of a shot on goal. But well done from just misplacing the ball from Kelly O'Hara and allowing her defense to get in behind. And for the U.S., Tobin Heath with a perfectly placed far post goal. Kristen Press doing a nice job of not allowing her defender to have it, and Cindy LaRue finding Tobin Heath at the top of the box. So well done from the United States to get their first goal, and then the Kristen Press show kind of started after this. And well done from Becky Sauerbrunn winning the first initial ball, taking it down for Cindy LaRue and finding a wide open Kristen Press, and it was just too easy for her to finish there. And you have to love this combination play from two very, very young players.
For Tobin Heath, that was her 8th goal in a U.S. uniform. And what can you say about Press, who just continues to score at an incredible rate?
And then you see it right there, beating her defender, having the confidence to take her 1v1. Just one little touch gets her enough space to find that far post and finish it. And here are a couple of the Netherlands tries. Well done from Ashton Harris of saving it off the line. But there is some wide open players in the box for the Netherlands. To get ahead on it that clearly needs to be a better job of marking in the box. And here's the opportunity, and they finish for the Netherlands. Milas with a perfectly placed ball, just chipping it over Ashton Harris's head. And I like the ball in. Perfectly timed to stay onside, and Milas just world class, able to just chip it a little bit and goes right in the back of the net. First goal since the first game for the Netherlands, so well done.
Well, here are the final stats, and you can see it was all U.S. virtually all the time.
Yeah, it really was. 19 shots compared to 5, and 2 on goal for the Netherlands, and we saw just both of them. They were saved off the line, one of them, and one that went in, but really nothing much more from the Netherlands. The United States did an excellent job of inserting their style of play and their speed of play from the very beginning and taking control of the game.
Well, the next game for the U.S. national team will be almost stateside, just north of the border in Toronto, when they meet up against Canada. That will be June 2nd, 4:30 p.m. You can watch that game on ESPN News. We're going to preempt the news for a soccer game. Good move. ESPN News will have that game live for you, and of course you can watch it on Watch ESPN and on ESPN3. Thank you so much for watching. The United States with another impressive victory, 3-1 over the Netherlands. For Kat Whitehill, I'm Roberto Abramowitz. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. The USA with a victory, 3-1 over the Netherlands. They can all come home.